All righty. Welcome to the first edition of At the Table. And we have with us Vernice Mechel,
Yeah. Hello, hello, hello.
April Starks,
Hello.
and myself, Martina Young. And so to kick this off, we're just talking about what it means to be at the table, having conversations about the purpose of this at the table. And so this is just an opportunity to talk among the ladies. All right. So, what comes to your mind when you think about table or being invited or coming to the table?
For me, it's a sense of connection. Excuse me, my allergies. But a sense of connection,
Mm-hmm.
with whomever I'm speaking with. You have that sense of community as well. Um, uh, Connection is what I think of sitting at the table, even with your family. That's a time for you to bond, and relate, share stories. And so for me, connection would be one word if I were to pick one word.
And I'm glad you said the word connection because sometimes when we're connecting with people, it is when we get to know them. And so we want those who watch to connect with us. So, can you also attach to that a little bit about yourself?
Do you want me to go first?
Yes. This is also a comedy show.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
This is us, real life. This is unscripted.
Unfiltered, okay?
And so I am Vernice Mechel. And just a little bit about why I use my first and my middle name is because for many, many years, I went only by my middle name. And was it last year, 2 years ago, God told me to start using my first name. And so that is what I've been doing. I've been embracing myself. I am a registered nurse by profession. I am a mother of three, grandmother of two, all girls, so all females. So I have a passion for women.
Yeah.
And so in this time, I really just want to be transparent and allow God to use my story to help other people's story. And so that's a little bit about me.
All righty. April?
Yes. Oh, good. My name is April Stark. Well, let me say April Louise.
Leave that Louisiana now.
I got to. So my story probably will be the opposite of Vernice. I never wanted to use my middle name. I could not. I didn't like it. It's like an old lady name. Why did they name me Louise? And I would never tell people, would never bring it up. Just did not like that name. But my grandmother's name is Louise.
Mm.
And I was named after her. And so when I got older, I saw the significance of the name. I saw and began to embrace the fact that my grandmother was a phenomenal woman. And so much of her is in me. And so I was like, wait a minute, I am April Louise.
Yes.
So I started, just gaining some pride about my middle name. And so not ashamed of it now. And so with that comes probably a mixture of like who I am, because I just even growing up, I felt like I was an old soul because I was the first grandchild and I was raised by with my grandparents. My mom was with me, of course, but because she was so young, I was always with my grandparents. So, all the older stuff people would do, that's what I was doing as a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 8-year-old. I was doing all the old stuff. Go out and play. No, I won't sit here and eat these pork rinds with my granddaddy. So, that just lended to probably some of the things that I do and some of the ways that I act, because I think I have like a little oldness in me that comes from them. So that's my Louise part. My April part is the probably the wild child that comes out here and there to let me know, look, you got some vibrancy and some life and energy, and you're not an old lady. So just kind of balancing that out. I have 3 children, 2 boys, and my daughter Ayana, my husband Gary. So we just work together. We call ourselves the Stark's Nest. So we just try to build a nest even with our children. And when I think about what Vernice said with the connection, that's what I think about with the table. It's about that connection that you get, with your family, with people that you extend out to your family and your friends. All of that's important. I also made a note about the table. It's that place where you get nourished naturally, but then also just having conversation. One of our favorite shows as a family is Blue Bloods. We love Blue Bloods, and we have worn out every episode. And now going back repeating some because we just love that show so much. But those who have watched it know they come to the table typically towards the end of the show, and they talk about their differences. Is everything always kosher? Nope. But that's where they come and they talk. They fellowship. They eventually get it right, because at the end, Papa normally is letting everybody know. Right. Make sure when we leave this table, everything's all good. So that's honestly what I thought about with Blue Bloods. They took their time at the table, and I think we should do that not only as our families, but as friends, as sisters, coming to the table. And some people are not used to that because we live in a society where we don't officially eat at the table anymore. Everybody goes to their respective place, whether it's the family room or the TV room or your room, right? Which I'll turn my kids up finding rappers in their room. They're not supposed to be eating in their room. But just getting back to that, so I think this is good that we're coming together and having the idea of saying, look, let's just come to the table, so people can have that opportunity to be nourished, connect, share, celebrate. At the table, you celebrate as well. Come to the table, we celebrate birthdays, we celebrate anniversaries, all at the table. A form of solidarity, sharing experiences with each other, and building understanding all happens at the table.
That's good. All right. And that's what, as you were saying that, it made me think about the fact that at the table, when you're at the table with people that you're connected to, there's a sense of being relaxed. It's like not a place where you feel like you have to put on any facades or that you're acting, because these are people that you're comfortable around. And that really is what we desire, is that even through this, that people would sense that this is a relaxed opportunity just to connect with one another. And about me, my name is Martina Patrice Young, since we're giving out middle names.
All right.
As you were talking about Louise, it made me think about the fact that originally my mother was going to name me Matilda after my grandmother instead of Martina, but she decided to use Martina instead of Matilda because she thought Matilda sounded, older or whatever, and she thought Martina was a more modern way to still give a reflection to my grandmother's name, which my grandmother had passed away by the time I was born. And the unique thing about it is that at one time I looked up the meaning of Matilda and Martina, and they both have a basic same meaning of being warlike or being a warrior. And I was like, wow, Lord, that is amazing.
Yeah.
And so, it is something, names are significant. And so sometimes when I'm like maybe in a place where I'm struggling, sometimes I think about my name, like literally that I was created to be a warrior and that there's fight in me. And so, God uses my name as a tool of encouragement. And so oftentimes my family though calls me Tina. Honestly, I like Martina better than Tina because, you know, but what can you do? You got to go with what they started calling you before you had a voice.
Right.
Speaking of that voice, you know, this at the table is an opportunity to voice, you know, and to be transparent and an opportunity to discuss different things that impact our lives. And that's what we're going to use these times, excuse me, as a time of sharing and expressing our voices. And about me, I think what is so beautiful about our combination is that each of us as women have different paths. I am single. There ain't a song about being single, is there? Oh, all the single ladies? I don't know. So anyway, I am single and I don't have any natural children. And I realize even with that, for a lot of women, that is, you know, becomes a problem because of the society expectations. But I really have come to understand that I can't allow society to set the patterns for me. And I really recognize that God really, I mean, set it up that way. At one point I was in corporate America and, you know, working in the business world. That was my educational background. I had gone to school to the University of Louisville's business school, got my degree there, graduated a few months after that, started working at a big corporation here. And for years, I spent 16 years there and had, you know, had made it to where I was the client service manager and making a good salary. But I was in a meeting and one of the VPs said, he was talking about the responsibilities of that position and they were changing it. And he said, if you think this isn't right, maybe you need to consider if this is the right path for you. Well, you know what? I took what he said seriously. And it wasn't even just about the responsibilities, but I said, Lord, is this what you want me to be doing? And I had been in a priority management class, and the speaker said something that has stayed with me the rest of my life. He said, when you are climbing the ladder of success, make sure that you have your ladder on the right wall, because you would hate to get to the top of it and realize that you're not in the place you wanted to be. Woo! Like literally that spoke to me that
wow.
we are investing our life and energy in, we got to make sure it's the right thing. And so I like really took some time and prayed about it. And God revealed to me like what your heart's passion is, working with kids. And I can remember being in a service, worshiping, and just felt this love bubble over in my heart. And I said, Lord, you've given me all this love. Who do you want me to pour it out on? I'm like, I ain't mad. I ain't got no peace. Jesus, what you want me to do with it? And it was really like, that's when he began to unfold to me to take it to the school system. You know what I mean? And so like literally since that time, I have been working in the school system. And the first move sounded crazy because literally I left a job that I knew was stable with a good income and started substitute teaching. And I mean, going to different schools and, you know, not knowing for sure how many days a week I would work, but God provided for me so much. And I had so many opportunities to meet different children along the way. And it was just amazing how they would open up to me. You know, like that was one of the ways that I figured out that this was one of the paths he would have me on, because I could go places and children that didn't even know me would start talking to me. And I was just like, but sometimes I would be with people and they said, do they know you? And I'm like, no, it's just, you know, it's just me and kids. Sometimes my friends' kids would go in my purse, just all kinds of things. And I said, it's just something that God has put in me where kids feel comfortable around me. And so with that, you know, then things have changed and I'm at one school location now, but like that has been the greatest opportunity of just pouring love out on those kids. And I have a note now that one of the first graders wrote me this school year, and she said, I love Miss Young and I know that Miss Young loves me. I was
Oh,
about to cry, like, because that's what I want, Lord, for them to
oh,
know that I love them. And so,
Yeah.
like literally. So that's about me. And in the midst of it, and after this, I'm gonna be quiet. But I also have, godchildren, several godchildren, and particularly one of my godsons, had some different things to go on with both of his parents. One of them passed away, and the other one has been, had a serious medical issues. So, really stepping up in the place of being, a godmother and fully in his life. And, the same for my nieces and nephews. So I recognize that is my role as a woman. And the fact that I did not have children does not make me any less of a woman,
right.
because God has wanted me to pour out my nurturing in
Yeah.
a way. So,
Yes.
and we gotta be okay with that. I
Yes.
mean, like literally, and that's sometimes is the struggle, not embracing, who you were created for.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah. No, that's really good because that ties into the fact that we each have something to bring to the table,
Yes.
and everything's different. Every person's portion is different. So it's kind of like when we say, okay, we're gonna have a potluck. So and so's gonna bring macaroni and cheese. So and so's bringing the pot roast. The other person's bringing the dessert. Each person has a part that makes up the meal.
Yes.
And so we're all getting fed. We have all our different varieties of the food groups. Look, we even have some pleasures up in there.
Right.
Because I love sweets now. My weakness. So when everybody brings that to the table, willingly, they bring it with sincere love. And sometimes you be at work, you wonder like, I don't know if I want to eat that, because you could tell probably they ain't put no love into it.
Yeah.
Right.
You might see a hair on it or something. You like, you didn't put no love into that. I don't know if I want to eat that. So, when everybody like just brings that sincerely, and bringing what they have to offer with love. Look, I'm not trying to floss for you. I'm not good making, I don't know, let's just say I'm not good at whatever, macaroni and cheese. Okay, so why am I going to try to fake it and bring macaroni and cheese to the potluck?
Yeah.
Right.
You know you can't make macaroni and cheese.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So just bringing what your specialty is, which mine is, by the way, corn pudding. That is Louise's special. Grandmother used to make corn pudding all the time. I would watch her, and now that's my specialty, corn pudding. So, if y'all want to have a real potluck, let me know.
I got you.
We can have a real one. I'll bring the plates, napkins, and cups.
See, you see.
And drinks.
And drink. That's all right. Look, you bring what you can. You
Yeah. See, you're that sister.
I do have one cake that I can make though, real good. And I can make good macaroni and cheese. Okay.
All right.
There it is. Yep. That's good.
Yes, yes. And so at the table, we'll just have different discussions, about topics that we all face, just like we all are different women with different backgrounds, different experiences that we will be able to, like April said, when there's an announcement at work, we're having a potluck, everyone brings what their specialty is, and that flavor is so good that you might eat it all. Eat that piece of cake. Cake's gone in a minute because someone is bringing it and they cook it really well. And so but what we won't do is be that person that we don't want to eat that.
We don't want that.
Yes. So we all have something to bring to the table, and to help. This is a conversation. Just a little background of how we came together. It was just organically happened. It was something that wasn't planned. We always have great conversation together, and we were just like, this may be good for other people to hear. And
Yeah.
so that's how literally we were sitting at the table. And
At a table.
yeah, and to have conversation and dialogue with each other as women, because as women we have so many different aspects of us. You know, I'm divorced, you know, I'm single but divorced, you know, but you
Mm-hmm.
always have that label on you
Yeah.
as divorced, and you have to move and push through that healing process. Because for me, I believe that, you know, being transparent is a way to shine a light on an area, and so that healing can take place. And so that's one thing that I would like to do at the table when we have these discussions, is to shine a light on different topics so that other women, men, whomever, you know, listens to this will be able to say, I might want to start that process,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, for themselves. And the journey is going to be different for everyone.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
know, it's not duplicated. It's something that, you know, is individualized and custom made. And so we don't have to compare our journey with the next person, as long as we remain in the process, no matter how hard it is, because it's worth it on the other side.
Yeah.
It is. It really is worth it on the other side if you continue to push on. Yeah.
Yeah. And I
And
think
it,
these platforms, you know, such as this, those who will be listening or watching our playbacks or live, when we have them live, it provides that opportunity for them to think about where they are. Because sometimes you could be going in life and you honestly are not thinking of a root cause of something that is causing you a perpetual cycle of something. You're just living. You're in survival mode. It's I'm doing what I have to do mode, until you sit down at the table and take that time, and maybe a topic is brought up that it makes you like, wow, why did that hit me like that? Oh my goodness, there is something there. That's why that hurt. Or, you know, that's why that made me feel that way. Triggers, as people call them. So until you have those conversations, sometimes it's never highlighted for you.
Yes.
So when you are in platforms like this at the table, when you're in small groups or different um, avenues that allow you to talk, that is healthy. That's why sometimes just isolating ourselves is not good, because we're not able to vocalize
Mm-hmm.
or even hear. So those who may be listening, you know, thank you for listening to this. You may not be able to talk back to us right now, but there's something being said that you can reflect upon, and it's going to help you in your inner self to then begin to talk it out and then reach out to someone for accountability and assistance or even counseling. Our goal, hopefully, too, is to take away the stigma of counseling. Um, you know, I'm promoting preventive maintenance. Look, let's
yes.
hit it before it gets bad. You
Yes.
know, when we're in our cars, some of us may or may not have been taught. Look, my mom taught me when I got my first car, if you don't do anything else, you better get your oil
All
changed
changed.
every
Mm-hmm.
3,000 miles. She said, don't play with it. That's going to keep your car going. That's going to keep your engine, you know, good. You're going to have more mileage and longevity in your car if you keep your oil changes. So I see that from a counseling standpoint. As soon as you feel or hit the issue, let's start getting the oil changes. Don't keep driving the car and ignoring the light that said the oil is changed.
Mm-hmm.
The engine's gonna conk out, and
Yes.
then you're gonna need major issues. And that's what leads us to where we have to maybe you know, go through a program or into institutionalize. And all that's fine too, because we need the help. But if we can do preventive maintenance with ourselves
Mm-hmm.
and hit it from the get-go, we're gonna be so much better. So hopefully at the table will be an opportunity for people to hit those issues and begin to do some preventive maintenance.
Yes, that's
And
good.
you saying that like makes me think about, as we were talking about connection, that in the midst of connecting at the table, that is the opportunity to recharge. The other day I was working on my computer and a little pop-up message came up. And sometimes I don't always read those, but it popped up and I read it, and it said something about the charge of the computer, that the battery was low. Well, I had it plugged in, so I thought. And so the pop-up message allowed me to see that the charger had come slightly unplugged from the computer, and so it was no longer charging. And so the thought that came from that is that when there are warnings or messages that are coming forward, that we need to make sure that we pay attention to them. And then how important is it for us as women to make sure that we are charged up? You know, this at the table is an opportunity to connect and to be recharged, because just like the battery on the computer had worn low because of me using the computer, sometimes we are going and going and going and doing for other people in such a way that we don't even realize that the charger has become disconnected. But it has been, and we need to push. I had to push it on back in so that it would continue to recharge. And so our desire is also that these talks at the table would be a time of recharging, of reconnecting, you know, connecting to what empowers you. And the words that we hear and the words that we speak have such a powerful avenue to recharge us and to connect us. So, you know, we want this to be an empowering time of connecting and charging up. So, yes. All righty. So we thank you for joining us for this initial presentation, or whatever you want to call it, at the table. And we will be coming back each week. Or no, we will be coming back. See, this is how y'all know that this is like, we are completely transparent. We will be coming back.
We'll be back.
We will be back.
We will
We
be
will
back.
be back.
This is not the
With
first
more-
time, last time that you will hear from us.
We will be back with more transparent episodes at the table.
Yes.
Thank you.
We love you.
Thank you. Love you. Love you. Thank you.